Hey Stampers, this is Sarah with Stinkincutecards.com, and I have the second of June's featured cards for my Take 3 class here that I have in the studio. And this is the card that we did this month in June. And I did use some non-traditional colors. Each month we are going to feature a color, and this month's was Mint Macaron. And so I did some non-traditional colors with this one. I used the Old Olive, Mint Macaron, and So Saffron. So again, probably not, I mean, looking at them, I probably wouldn't have said, yeah, those go. But once they are worked up in a card, I found that this color combo actually worked really well for the card that I had done. So this is the card that we did, and I will go ahead and assemble this up, stamp it up for you, and show you how quick and simple it is. I love this. We're using the Lilypad Lake and the coordinating Framelits. I love this set. It probably was one that when I was looking through the catalog, it didn't pop out at me and say, pick me, pick me. But with these boats and this egret or blue heron, whatever you want to call it, it's been a really nice set to play with, and the sayings are nice. So let's go ahead and get this baby started. These are the cutting sizes that you are going to need to make this card. And I need a couple of different scraps. I have a small little piece, some scraps to do some stamping, and that's what you got. Old Olive, Mint Macaron, and So Saffron. So let's go ahead and get this baby started. All right, so we are using, let's do the inside because that way I can get it out of the way. I need to find that piece. And we're using the So Saffron. You could substitute the Mint Macaron if you wanted to. And all right, let's go ahead and get this inside stamped so that I can get that out of the way. We're going to use the Memento because I'm going to use the blends here. We're going to be calm and leave it to God. And is that crooked? Nah, let's try it again just in case. Oh, and that's got a smudge. So we're going to go back to time 1, and we're just going to pretend that it's straight. Some days. All right, so I have the little lily pads on there, and let me just quickly show you how I'm going to go ahead and color these. I'm going to use the finer tip of the two ends of our blends, and I'm just going to highlight some of these along the edge of the lily pad, and then I'm going to come back with the Old Olive blend, the dark, and then I'm going to come back with the light, and I'm going to go ahead and color that in. And then what I usually find I do is on the edge between the dark and the light, if you go back and forth over it a couple of times, what it does is it obviously softens it. That's what the blends do. But that way you can really look like you know what you're doing when it comes to the blends, and it'll let you fake it. Fake it till you make it. There you go. And again, the more you go over it and blend, the more variation that you're going to get. So I'm going to use the Daffodil Delight in the same manner, highlighting just a few pieces here. And then coming back over it again with the lighter color. So there you have it. I see I forgot the stem. We need to go back and color that in so that it looks good. So I have done another one on a scrap piece of paper and cut it out. We're going to be needing that later, but all right, so I did the stem. Now we're just going to layer that up. And I'm putting it on So Saffron cardstock, and we will go ahead and put that on the inside of our card. Remember with the snail, you probably only need 1 inch in each of the 4 corners and maybe 1 in the center. So don't go crazy with it. So there you have it. There's our inside, and now we're going to work on the outside. What I did was I took a piece of 3 3/4 by 5 inch, and I ran it through the Big Shot using the Waves die from this stamp set, or this die set. And what I find works the best is if I turn it upside down and run it through, and I did run it through back and forth a couple of times just to make sure that each of those waves came out. The other thing that I found too is, like, you know, when you have your Big Shot, I found that I placed, let me grab this here for you to show. So your platform is like this, and your big shot sits right here. I found that if I put my die right here upside down, it seems like on the platen, the cranker part, on the edges, it seems like there's more pressure on these sides. So I find that if I have something really detailed, sometimes it helps just to put it on the edges of your big shot instead of putting it in the center like this. It seems like that way the pressure is uniform through the whole way of the die. Does that make any sense? I'm not sure if I'm explaining it well enough, but put it on the edges when you can sometimes if you're having some difficulty. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and attach this piece to some Mint Macaron and get that even. Okay, I'm going to put just a titch down here. Okay, and go ahead and, again, green glue would work really well with this. I usually am a green glue girl. I just need to go and grab that and keep that over here again. So here is my card base, and now it's just a matter of adding some details. So we are going to stamp ourselves an egret. I think this is an egret. We have a lot of great blue herons around here, so maybe it's a heron. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it really matters. You can make it whatever you want. I'm going to add the thinking of you, and I'm going to add my lily pads here. And then what we're going to do is we are going to use the big shot and the coordinating framelits to die cut that out. So running that through the big shot, we are going to be left with an egret. Actually, I'm going to show you how to color my egret. All I did was I just simply added the blends, and I just, on the pieces that were the little folds here, that's where I added my highlighting. So pretty simple, nothing too fancy, and I showed you how to color that already. So cutting that out, you're going to be left with this, this, and this. Super simple. Now what I found worked really well too is sometimes I like to have a little more pop of color behind. White on white, it was okay, but I wanted to have a little bit more of a pop. So I just added a little strip of Mint Macaron behind this banner and using a scissors. All right, and I'm just going to add a little flag here. And it seems like it's a little crooked, so let's just pick it up and move it over so that it's centered. Okay. So just see how that just adds a little more visual interest and will offset your banner a little bit better. So let's go ahead and add that with dimensionals. I'm going to use the baby ones today just because that's what I have here at my fingertips. The big ones wouldn't matter if it's the big or little. All right, adding this right here. And I've cut out a sun from the So Saffron, and we're just going to tuck that behind. And let's add the egret. Again, I'm going to use dimensionals. This is when the baby ones work really well for something kind of detailed like that. Just going to use 2. And we're going to go ahead and add that egret right here. I'm going to add the lily pads by his feet or her feet. Not sure which is which. Need to go back to biology class. All right, there we go. Let's add some, go ahead and add some of the reeds. I am going to attach that right here to the bird so that it looks like it's being popped and it's really not. And then this one, I'm just going to tuck in behind the bird. I probably should have put that in first, but you can see that. Tuck that back there. So there we have it, just a lovely thinking of you card. This would work great for, a sympathy. It's not an outright, dear with deepest sympathies, but it is a thinking of you. Sometimes people are just going through maybe a little rough patch or had some unfortunate news delivered recently. So this would be just a lovely card thinking of you with loving thoughts and prayers, and be calm and leave it to God on the inside. So again, just a lovely card that we did for the June's Take 3 class. So if you need more information about the classes, whether or not you are local or long distance, please visit my website at www.stinkincutecards.com. Thanks.